Hey guys, Nate here doing just a quick talk on holiday sales. Given my last video where I talked a little bit about high CPMs and why those are happening, I thought it would be a good idea to start thinking and getting people in the mindset of what is selling this holiday. Since profitability is becoming a little bit harder to attain because of the high CPMs, what can we do to ensure our business is kind of set up in the right way in terms of our products and what we're selling to make sure that we are maintaining good sales for the holidays? How can we hop on that predicted $70 or so billion in just mobile sales in the US that are predicted for this November and December? Obviously, the whole point of advertising is to get a reasonable return on the investment. So how can we make sure that we're maintaining that and mitigating that risk on certain platforms and for advertising? So from my perspective as an advertiser, advertising in multiple industries and looking at multiple products every single day, I think it's important, and I think this is something that a lot of advertisers miss. It's important to evaluate what's actually happening in the market as a whole, not just specifically on products, but what are people actually going through. Part of advertising and thinking about sales is that emotional tie that actually comes with the selling of a product. I think the biggest indicator right now in what is selling today or into how to evaluate the market is to look at the housing market. The housing market is in a huge, huge boom right now, or what you would call probably a bubble in terms of what the housing market is in. And why is that? Because there's a huge surge of buyers and there's not a lot of sellers. That's driving up home price. And because of having all of those buyers, you're still trailing off. At the end of this year, there's still an increase in home sales. Typically at the end of the year is when home sales start to trickle down a little bit, especially in places that have a lot of snow and stuff like that, because no one really wants to move during the winter. So that makes total sense, and people are kind of reevaluating things at the end of the year. Nobody's making really super big changes during these next 2 months. It's typically people are looking forward to the next upcoming year. But we have seen the opposite of that. Given the current circumstances of the housing market, we've still continually seen houses selling really quick. I can speak from my own experience here in Ohio, that houses between the price of, I would say, $185,000 to $350,000, those houses go insanely fast when they hit the market. And I can't even imagine the amount of homes that I don't even see hit the market because of all those secret societies that realtors are part of. I can't even really begin to imagine the ones that I don't see. But I think this is important to evaluate what's going on, and I think that the housing market's a big indicator of that, because I think with what's currently going on in the market is what's currently going to be the greatest sellers of any given time period of the year. So since we've seen, I believe it's around a 20% increase just in sales of homes in the past couple of months compared to last year, it makes a lot of sense that I think that tying sales to this upcoming holidays to the home makes a ton of sense. Now, I don't think that given the current circumstances of what's going on, I don't think sales are going to go down for his holidays. I think we're going to see another record-setting holidays in comparison to last year. Just like we saw things changing in Q2, the big boom of Q2 this year, I think we're going to see the same thing happening in November and December, because there's a lot of people that are still expecting to buy. I don't think that's going to change at all. I think that gift giving is still relatively important to us because it's just part of our humanity. It's part of what we do and how we show love for each other. So I don't think that's really going to change this holidays. I think people are still going to be buying the same amount. And when I'm looking at a product, I have to ask myself, not just what is the product, but what is this product to and what problem does it solve? What is the actual offer behind the product? I think looking at the housing market, and given that we have seen a lot of sales in retail industries like Home Depot and Lowe's dramatically increase over the past couple of months, is telling you that there's a lot of people that are probably buying a lot of things for their home, given the circumstances of what's happening around the world in terms of the virus. I think that a lot of people are sitting around still on their phones, although we're still seeing some people go out. Just because people are sitting at home, that means that we should be able to tie a lot more things to that. You saw the advertising of a ton of different companies change around to being in the home, even if, considering work being on Zoom in commercials and the progressive commercials of them being on Zoom instead of in the office. there's a lot of things I think we should be relating to that. And as somebody who is an advertiser or somebody that's running an e-com store, it's something that you need to consider as well when looking at how are we actually marketing these products and tying these offers. And when I say things that I think things that are going to sell in relation to the home, I'm not just talking about like things like rugs or flower planters or anything like that. But I think it's going to be literally anything that we can tie to the home. I think that people were worried about fashion going down because people typically are probably buying, luxury fashion because they want to wear it when they go out. They want to wear it to show kind of off to people. But we haven't really seen a downtrend in fashion sales. And I think mainly that comes down to the idea of, for an example, I'll use something like a hoodie or something like joggers. Instead of promoting just the actual jogger itself and saying, oh, these are really nice looking joggers, I don't think a lot of people are caring what looks nice right now. But instead of relating it to that, why not look at how comfortable this hoodie feels when you're sitting on your couch, you're watching Netflix with your loved one, you're having a great time with your family here at home. Look how comfortable these joggers are. Oh, these athletic shorts that you would typically wear to the gym. Look at how much fun it is throwing catch with my son out in his backyard in these really comfortable shorts and all the things that I can do with him in these shorts. Just an example right there, using just the fashion industry, but just that idea of relating things to the home. And then, you have a lot of things like foods, Keurigs, all of those things related to the home are selling really good right now because you have a lot of people doing things in the home. And then given the current housing market, I think that when you add and factor that in, there are a lot of costs that come with buying a home. A lot. And so I think bringing that in relationally, tying to that emotional connection to what's currently going on, you have to understand about your market, what's currently going on in their lives. I think that's going to play a huge part into holiday sales, as well as just that whole idea of gift giving. That's a really, really big deal to our society. And I think it's a good thing. It, again, shows our humanity and just our love and compassion for each other. But I think that's going to really tie in to those things. I don't think we're going to see a huge downtrend in other things like fashion either for these holidays. I don't think we're going to see really anything like that because, again, it comes down to how you can relate these things, and it comes down to how industries are going to relate these things. People still care about a lot of these things. People are still going to have parties. People are still going to be giving gifts and presents. It all comes down to the offer and the product. And that's where this video kind of takes a turn because I know everyone was coming to this video expecting my top 5, my top 10 products that I think are going to be the biggest sellers. There's a lot of lists like that out there. And to be completely honest with you, I hate those lists entirely because what those lists do is they're completely arbitrary. It's kind of just based off of a couple random things. And 2, at the end of the day, what those lists really just encourage people to do is they look at those trends lists, they see, oh my gosh, face masks. There's a ton of face masks that are being sold right now. And they go start a Shopify store that sucks. And then they start pumping their ad spend into whatever platform they decide to choose. Maybe they pull an image and they make a little video inside of Canva and they make it all look good and they're expecting to make $1 million because they saw on this trends list that, oh my gosh, there's, so many of these selling, somehow I've got to be able to ride on that train and just ride that wave. Well, I think that's totally arbitrary and it's stupid because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the product is. Let me say that again for you. It doesn't matter what the product is. What matters is what that product does, and this is kind of what's going to determine if it sucks or not, because if what it does, there has to be a market for that, but it's what it does and what the actual offer is, and then how you tie that offer relationally to that person. I don't care. I really don't care what the product is. I guarantee you if you go start a face mask e-commerce store right now and try and run some ad spend to it using no fundamentals of marketing, but just because it's on a trends list and you pump some money into ad spend, I guarantee you won't get any sales because that is just not how it works. The point is to be able to make that relational connection with the features and benefits of the product, which shouldn't be the primary, should be the emotional connection of that product. Ecom has done nothing but get bigger, not more real selective on what the products are. It all determines on that market and on that offer. So there's no stupid list about the top 5 to 10 things. Sorry, there is no list. What it comes down to is that passionate thing that the market needs and relating that. It doesn't really matter what the product is. Make the right offer to the right person, and as long as it doesn't suck, I promise you, people will still buy it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below, and make sure if you found some value in this, you give it a like. It really helps me with the algorithm. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.